Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So in this one it's actually going to be the first of two videos kind of talking about the same subject. One's going to be positive, the other one's going to probably not be so positive, but you know what, I'm going to lead with the good before we start talking about the bad, because hey, I've got that reputation. So if I dedicate a whole video to being positive, then people can't say I'm not positive. Although they probably can if they only watch the second video, but hey. So, you guys know, we have this. I've actually not really played today, to be honest. I need to, well I have. Strangely enough, I've done like the trials and stuff, but you obviously don't get any points for them. So, we've got this. Evil Ryu is coming, and he is going to bring his event with him in 7 days' time. Evil Ryu, as you guys know, now, I did tell you this, and I also did tell you to expect this, to be honest. This guy is going to be a limited time summon, which honestly does not surprise me, and quite clearly when I put out a video 3 weeks ago saying that this was going to happen, I think you can guess that it really didn't surprise me. But nonetheless, he is going to be a limited time summon. Now, some of you might think that's a good thing, and that's fine, and this video is basically aimed at you, right? Some of you might not. That's the next video. But let's talk to the people who do think this is a good thing. This guy is going to be available for free-to-play players. Obviously, the reality is free-to-play players are going to find it quite difficult to get this guy. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you maximise your chances of getting this guy and potentially any future units that come up on this banner, right? So we now know that when these banners are coming up, we do a countdown. And when we do a countdown, you end up getting 50 of these special summoning tickets. Now, as you can see, I've got some saved up. And as well as getting the 50 special summoning tickets from the event lead-in, during the event itself, you get around about 65, I think it is, 65 special summoning tickets from that as well. So all in, you're getting yourself roughly about 115 tickets, right? Some people, free per section basically, will also get some additional tickets by ranking on the leaderboard. That is how I have these tickets. I ranked on the leaderboard and I was able to get some tickets. As well as that, there's some other ways that you can get tickets, and this is really what this video today is going to focus on. How you can build your stash up as high as possible so that when you try to go for these units, you have a greater chance of potentially getting them, right? So, starting out, going into the event, doing the event plus the lead-in, we've already established you should, by the end of the event, before the period ends, you should have around about 115 tickets, okay? Now, there is some other ways to get tickets. We do have that NWH thing, or HWA, I think that's what it's called. That will come back, right? We're going to get that back again. When you reach the top rank of that, you get 10 tickets. And reaching the top rank of that actually isn't as difficult as it seems. You can spend the minimal amount of coins, gems, sorry, less gems than buying tickets from the shop, and that will take you up. Defeating bots, if you do it early, you will get up into that top ranking. And once there's a rule somewhere, once you're a certain point in that ranking, you won't get demoted. And even if you don't make it to the actual tippy top, even the rank below that will still give you 10 tickets, right? So that would give you an additional 10 tickets. Now, based on everything we've seen in this game so far, that's probably going to happen once a month, right? So that would give you an extra 10 tickets. So your event plus that, you're now up at 225 tickets, right? Now, every 3 days, you can buy your free tickets from here. Now, what I'll say is, I've been able to do that so far, and I'm never at a net loss, okay? Don't get me wrong, my diamonds aren't going up exponentially. They are hovering around about the same point, but through gameplay, I can generally earn enough, especially over the course of the week, to break even on buying these every single day, okay? So if you buy these every single day, you are going to have 77, you're going to have 36, I hope I'm right there. You're going to have an additional 36 of them, okay? So that's going to put you up at, if we're looking at a month between these banners, which hopefully it's going to settle down to 30, 60, 90, 120, 66, 12, 12, 12, 24, 124 additional, no, 128 additional tickets. Add that to the login and stuff like that, that's you getting up towards the highish, run about the 250 mark, okay? As well as that, every 2 weeks, if you can push here, okay, easier said than done, but if you can push here and you can qualify for the global showdown or the final showdown, you have got the potential to earn yourself a fairly decent amount of tickets. Now your mileage is going to vary on this, okay? Getting into here, you obviously need to progress to actually try to get some more of these, okay? But even just getting this first one with an additional 5 tickets, that's an additional 10 tickets a month, okay? And that can get you up to, if we were at 250 odds a minute ago, get you up towards the 260 mark, okay? Now, understandably, that is not easy. I said this already, it's not easy. This mode, however, isn't the whale fest you think it is. It is difficult, but if you're a smart player, you can 100% beat people that are above your power level. No problem at all. Because literally team placement is actually key in this event. And I've gone over this before in another video where I was talking about how I won the thing. And a lot of it comes down to where you've put your team. Right? If you've put your best team in slot 2, but the person you're fighting thought you were going to put your best team in slot 1, you might have made a sort of a bluff with them that allows you to then beat their weakest team, which is slot 3, and you can push on. And like I say, even just going one stage further in this, it's going to give you an additional 10 tickets, right? Which really adds up. I mean, over the course of a month, with an event, with the HWA thing, with buying your tickets every day, you are going to be getting up towards 260, 270 mark, okay? This is where you being a smart player comes into play, right? So if we go back and we look at someone like RYU, he is not a limited unit in the sense that he is not coming back. He is going to forever be in that banner, okay? So if you've done this event, you've got yourself a full month's worth of tickets, you've gained yourself 250 tickets or whatever over the course of a month, and then there's a new event about to start, you're going into that event already banking 250 tickets, okay? And you know from doing that event, you're going to get yourself another 115 tickets, right? That's putting you at this point up towards the 400 ticket mark. And you know as well, if you continue to buy 3 tickets a day, it's not going to be long before you're starting to tip the scales and have 500 tickets, right? Even if we take away the global showdown thing, you're still going to be up towards that 500 ticket mark, okay? Now, there's no pity on this banner, so you could be the unfortunate soul that uses 500 tickets and still doesn't get the guy to SSS. You would like to think, and I say you would like to think because there's no guarantees, but you would like to think that you would fall within that probability scale of getting enough copies of the unit that you want up to SSS to the point where they're starting to become really solid, really good units, okay? Now, the reason that I say that it's worth your while doing it this way, rather than just saying, okay, Hayzink, you know what, you're right, 250 tickets a month, well, what I'll do then is I'll just spend 250 tickets this month, and then next month I'll do the same again, and I'll just spend them again. The reason I suggest not doing that, right, is Evil RYU. If you go in for Evil RYU, right, let's just say month 1 you get maybe 3 copies and you've spent 200 tickets, right, which is horrible, but 200 tickets is only 20 multis, right? But let's say you do that, you're going to feel demoralised, you're going to feel gutted, you're going to feel like, oh my god, what was all that saving for? That was ridiculous. I don't feel very good about this game anymore, I don't want to play, right? That's the kind of thing it will do to you, right? Whereas if you've saved up 500 tickets, sure, that could still happen, because 500 tickets is 50 multis, and it could 100% still happen to you, right? But if you've done that, the likelihood is you probably won't go on such a bad run, because what I've seen from other players and what I've experienced myself is this banner can sometimes kind of kick the luck back to you on the back end. And what I mean by that is you might start summoning, you might have 200 tickets and you get 2 copies and you think, oh my god, this is terrible. But then on your next 200 tickets, you pick up 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 copies. And it's almost like the luck was weighted to the back end of your multi run. Now again, I'm not saying that's going to happen to everyone. I'm just saying it's the type of thing that I've seen from this game. So if you've saved up, you won't go through that high and then low, you know, or that low then high, feeling like, you know what, this sucks, and you might not make it to the next month where you actually get the unit and, you know what I mean, you can start using them and stuff like that. So that's one reason I say that it's a good idea to save. The other reason that I say it's a good idea to save is because in the 2 months it takes you, because we are talking 2 months, we're talking not even 2 months, it's basically a month. You're talking from one event to the next event and then buying tickets a little bit through the following month, right? Between then and then, you're going to have a new unit, right? So let's just say that you decide right now, Evil Ryu, that's the unit I want to go for, right? And you sink your 250 tickets into Evil Ryu and you get 4 copies, maybe even 5 copies, right? And you've already said, right, that's okay, I was expecting that. Next month when I get my tickets again, I'll summon more, hopefully that'll be him at SS. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic, right? But then the game announces someone like Fashion Blanca, Fashion Bison or Pharaoh Sagat or whatever, and it turns out this unit is vastly better for your team than Evil Ryu was going to be. You're already that deep into Evil Ryu, you're going to continue to summon for Evil Ryu because you're like, well, I only need 6 copies of him now, whereas if I now switch to Sagat, I'm going to need to get 14, 15, whatever, just to use the guy. But if you've saved your tickets until you've got a batch like that, if a new unit comes up and that unit's better than the unit you were considering, then you don't need to make that switch because you've kept your tickets, you're good to go. And as much as I don't like the system and all the rest of it, if you're quite canny and if you're quite smart with the events that you do, the tickets that you pick up daily and how you spend your tickets, going from one event to the next event isn't that long a period of time, and the number of tickets that you can pick up between point A and point B is actually quite large, and the period of time is only a month, right? Okay, Evil Ryu kind of screws that timeline slightly because he's coming out just after Dante, right? So there's only 2 weeks between them. I really hope this doesn't continue going forward. However, if it does continue going forward, let's look at the good with the bad. Every 2 weeks you're going to get an additional 115 tickets minimum just from doing the event, okay? So if you're just buying your tickets daily, if you're just saving your tickets from events, then it's not even going to take you 2 months to build up a huge supply of tickets if you don't just keep throwing them at these banners. So this is why I say it's a good idea for you guys to save. It's a good idea for you guys to try your best to tap out your potential of getting these tickets. So things like the Global Showdown, if you can do it, things like trying to push on the leaderboard. So whether that's watching videos of how do I eke out the most score. People might think it's pay to win only, but shout out to Pika, he's proven it's not. You can do it free to play. And he actually shares the teams that he uses to do it. So not only is this guy doing it, he's showing you how to do it, which is actually jeopardising his chances of retaining that spot. But he still shows you how to do it. So you can take that information, apply it to yourself, and you can pick up the additional 15, 20, 30, however many tickets it is if you just so happen to be lucky enough. A lot of these leaderboards are decided in the last 20, 30 minutes. So if your time zone allows for you to be playing the game just before reset, you could literally just steal that position away from someone who's laying in their bed sleeping, you know. So there is a lot of ways that as free to play players even you can maximise this and kind of get what you want to get without spending money. Now I know the typical gacha player wants everything now. It's the whole point, right? So saving for a month or two maybe seems like a big ask, okay? But at the end of the day, what difference does it make? If you summon now, What difference does it make? Having a unit sitting in your box that you cannot use anyway for a month or two until you've saved up enough tickets? Why not just wait, save the tickets up first, and then go for it? At the end of the day, if you get the unit quickly, all it means is you're going to have some of those tickets left for you to start saving again and wait till the next time it comes around. So without thinking, oh my god, I'm never going to get these units, just be smart. Be smart, save your currency and use it in the right way, and you will start getting these units, and you will start getting these units to a point where they're going to be good for you and they're going to be viable. And with the saving option, if you do it right and something else happens to come along, you're primed and ready to explode on the banner, and you could be one of the first people in your server that's got a SSS version of said unit. And in the meantime, all you need to do, save up your divination tokens that you get from the likes of the factional towers and stuff like that, and when you've got the unit to SSS, stop summoning on that banner, jump over to the divination banner, and then start focusing on trying to get that unit there. It sounds easier said than done, but if you switch your mindset and start thinking long term rather than short term, you will get these units, you know? And the only way you're going to do it is if you just randomly stop chucking summons at banners every time a new unit comes up. So that's my positive look at this, banner. The next one might not be so positive. I'll be honest, it's not going to be about the banner and the structure, because it's literally, what I've said is true, it applies to what I've said. It's actually just going to be about changing the typing of RYU and why it isn't as good a thing as some people might think it is. Spoiler alert, that's what the next one's about. Anyway guys, I've been Hayzink, thanks for watching, and give me feedback down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.